looks like. Cleansing pad. I'm just gonna wrap it over my face. I really like these things. It just makes my face feel like so fucking moisturized. And I don't know, it makes my face look way better. I am tired, but I just ate cereal, so I'm gonna watch a little bit more TV. And I'm gonna put on a face mask and just try and relax. Because right now my mind is still going like at a gazillion miles per hour right now. So I'm gonna put on like a face mask that I have here. Just gonna put on a random one. The Snail Hyaluronic Sheet Mask. I'm just gonna use this. I got these like from Marshall's a while back. And I'm just gonna put one of these on and just relax, honestly. 'Cause like I said, like my mind, I'm literally going like a million miles per second right now. So I'm just gonna try and relax, watch a little bit of some Friends, and yeah, put this thing on. So yeah, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Good night. Love you. Bye. Okay, but like, should I honestly run for office? Like, I just finished writing like the most like, I don't even know, like political answer. I don't even think it's a political answer. I think it's just like me and my thoughts. What I have noticed is when I do write about something, sometimes like people like to ask questions like more of the political side, and I try really hard not to like say what my stance is on something and something else. I don't know, maybe it's just like a journalist thing, I don't know. I try not to, just because like I feel like at that point like you're being biased basically. So like yeah, I don't want people to know who I am. Maybe that's why I also do it, but like yeah. So let me read to you what they had posted on my discussion board, and then I'm gonna read to you like what I responded. So it says, your analysis does a great job of connecting Herzberg's two-factor theory to workplace belonging and motivation. It says you highlight both how extrinsic policies and intrinsic motivators are necessary for true job satisfaction. And then it says, I'd like to build on your points. Okay. It's followed by that. It says, you raise a great concern about subconscious bias persisting even in inclusive workplaces. Even if leaders promote diversity, biases may still affect decision-making. Should companies implement mandatory bias training, or would that create resistance among employees who don't believe they are biased? All right, so what I ended up responding to that one point, just 3 points. To that one point, I said, companies should be implementing bias training at least at the management level. I don't think it would create resistance. If anything, employees just wouldn't like the idea of one more thing added to their plate. If employees do have resistance to it, then that can say a lot about their feelings towards management. Okay. So then she goes on, her second point, it says, improving representation is important, but diversity alone doesn't guarantee inclusion. Employees from marginalized groups might still feel isolated if they don't see people like them in leadership positions. It says, would mentorship programs or employee resource groups be enough, or does inclusion require more systemic change in leadership pipelines? I go on to say, employee resource groups are good. They can create the sense of belonging and networking between departments. However, there can still be confirmation bias within these groups as they are forming and during. Then I go on to say, realistically, it could take centuries for inclusion to be welcomed at any level. Everyone is human, everyone is raised differently, and everyone has their own opinions, which is great because this allows for the constant questioning of the status quo. It is through that where the real cultural transformation happens. Then her last point says, I love that you brought attention to the deeper issue of biases within marginalized groups themselves. This suggests that true inclusion isn't just about policy, it requires cultural transformation within the workplace. Do you think technologies such as AI driven bias detection in hiring and promotions could help? Or would that introduce new ethical concerns? So, now granted, I said the whole point of like opinions are great. That's what really, forces people to question the status quo. And questioning the status quo is like all about actually forcing people to change. Right? So in my response to her questioning about, do you think it'll bring up new ethical concerns about using AI-driven bias detection and all that, I said, AI-driven bias detection is only as great as its developers. AI could aid in reviewing resumes and looking for promotions. However, AI is only based on the data you feed it. So if the data you use is biased, then it will be biased. And then I said, in my personal opinion, if you are asking the AI to do something, it's already become biased. In terms of ethical concerns with AI, I believe there always will be. Nowadays, with the amount of data breaches that happen in a day, people are starting to question how their data is being used. It is a good thing. People are becoming more informed and knowledgeable, which will ultimately drive for more change/regulations. Am I fucking great or what? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Like, the shit that, like, honestly, like, sometimes I'm like, dude, I should run for office. I should run for office. But you know what? Like, I got a lot of, like, stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about running for office. But I'm sure it's very much rewarding. But I also feel like running for office is, that takes years to do for sure. But 1000%, like, I will always like support people who run for office, honestly, because that is a hell of a job. Like I feel like if YouTube's hard and like having a platform, like imagine like running for office and then actually gaining that platform and now having to represent yourself in front of like all the other representatives that are there. And then like, fight for the people and all that. Like, I really, really give it to all those people who do that, who are always supporting, always doing this, always doing that. Like, I get it. I honestly get it, and I will support you 1000%. Now, would I do it in this life? Maybe. But, I mean, who would want to... I don't know. I don't have any experience, so... Yeah. I really don't have much experience on... activism and all that, so I also haven't put myself towards that because I like to stay kind of like secluded and like private about my personal concerns. Unless I feel like we share like the same concerns, then I'll talk about it with you. But like in real life, like I feel like if I know like you have different views, like I'm 1000% okay with like talking about it. But I don't know. Lots of people tend to lose their cool. I am one of those people that if I feel like you're definitely wrong, I'm definitely going to lose my cool. So that's another reason why I stay away from it. But yeah, if I don't get an A in this class, like I don't fucking know. I'm probably going to crash out, honestly. I'm probably going to crash out. Like, if that wasn't a hell of a fucking answer, if that professor isn't printing out the freaking thing and posting it on her wall, like, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. But, like, I was always, like, a minute ago I was talking about, like, oh, you know what? I should run for office, blah, blah, blah. And then another part of me was like, but I enjoy my private life a little too much. Like, you see, the cognitive bias that I have in my head, like, yeah, even like now when doing like YouTube, like I had such a big like dissonance in my head. It's not cognitive bias, it's cognitive dissonance. I've had it so much in my head to where like when I was younger, I was like, you know what, I should do YouTube. But then another part of me was like, I shouldn't do YouTube. I should keep my life really private. And trust me, I do enjoy having my life really private. But sometimes I'm like, ugh. Like, I feel like you have to, sell a little bit to get a little bit, which is like a big issue that I have with myself where it's like, I want to give a little bit, but I also want to get a little bit back. So, and I also feel like tons of like influencers and YouTubers do that where like they post like the most like personal thing online, which is great, you know, if like for someone who doesn't know something, like it's great, but like, you know, it's also like personally I feel like, okay, like I would never do that. Like that's a little too much, you know. But I feel like the only way sometimes to be successful on YouTube is also to like really like give in to it. Like literally give into it. And I feel like I don't want to do that, you know? I don't know. I have lots of reservations about a lot of things, but then a lot of times I'm like, okay, well you have to give in order to get, so I don't know, it's a lot of stuff.
So yeah, stand here.
I don't look at you.
Your kid looks good.
Yeah.
Look at the queso. Like, that's queso, right?
I think that's Charlie.
Oh, okay. I see. Beans. We got the green rice. That rice is good, honestly.
They're actually very good.
Wow, even a little like tostada kind of thing. That's pretty. So good.